कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय
गो प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि बोल।
all glories of Sambhava devotees, all glories of Sambhava devotees of his Guru Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 9, Passing Away of Bhishma Deva. Today's verses 17 to 20. Verse 17. Tasmad
idam
Daivatantram
तस्मात्
Devasya
vyavasya
तस्य
paradarshava
Tasya
tasya
Anuvihida
anuvihido
Anatha
anada
Natha
nada
अनाथ
pahi
Praja
prajaha
Prabho
prabho
प्रभो
Tasmadidam Daivatandram
tasmadidam devatantram
Devasyam Vardashabha
devasya
तस्मादिदं
paradarshava
देवतन्त्रं
Tasyanu Vihido Natha
tasya
देवस्या
anuvihido
भरतर्षभ
nada
Natha Pahi
तस्यानुविहितो नाथ
Prajapto
nada
नादा पाहि
praja
प्रजा
prabho
प्रभो
Tasmadidam Daivatandram
tasmadidam
तस्मादिदं
devatantram
देवतन्त्रं
Devasya Vardashabha
devasya bharadashava
देवस्या भरतर्षभ
Vihido Natha
tasyanuvihido
तस्यानुविहितो
nada
नाथ
Natha Pahi Prajapto
nada pahi praja
नादा
prabho
पाहि प्रजा
Tasmadidam Daivatandram
tasmadidam devatantram
Devasya Vardashabha
devasya
तस्मादिदं
bharadashava
देवतन्त्रं
Yanuhido Natha
tasyanuvihido
तस्यानुविहितो
nada
नाथ
Natha Pahi Prajapto
nada
नादा
pahi
पाहि
praja
प्रजा
prabho
प्रभो
Tasmadidam Daivatandram
तस्मादिदं देवतन्त्रं
Devasya Vardashabha
devasya
देवस्या
bharadashava
भरतर्षभ
Yanuhido Natha
tasyanuvihido
तस्यानुविहितो
nada
नाथ
Natha Pahi Prajapto
nada
नादा
pahi
पाहि
praja
प्रजा
prabho
प्रभो।
Chalaja Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। ओम नमो
Hare Krishna.
भगवते वासुदेवाय। तस्मादिदं देवतन्त्रं व्यवस्या भरतर्षभ तस्यानुविहितो नादा नाद पाहि प्रजा प्रभो। हरे कृष्णा।
Manohari Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Tasmadidam devatantram vyavasya bharadarshava tasyanuvihido anada nada pahi praja prabho. Hare Krishna.
Right. Snigdhamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। तस्मादितं देवतन्त्रं व्यवस्य भरतर्षभ तस्यानुविहितो नाथ पाहि प्रजा प्रभु।
Right.
May I read
Yes.
synonyms? Tasmat, therefore, idam, this, daivatantram, enchantment of providence only, vyavasya, ascertaining, bharatasabha, who based among the descendants of Bharata, tasya, by him, anuvihitaha, is desired, anatha, helpless, natha, O master, pahi, just take care of, prajaha, of these subjects, Prabhu, O Lord. Translation: O best among the descendants of Bharata, Yudhishthir, I maintain therefore that All this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. Purport, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The popular saying is that a housewife teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. Similarly, the Lord teaches the world by teaching the devotee. The devotee does not have to learn anything new from the Lord, because the Lord teaches the sincere devotee always from within. Whenever therefore a soul is made to teach the devotee, as in the case of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, it is for teaching the less intelligent man. A devotee's duty, therefore, is to ungrud, ungrud, gruding,
Grudgingly. Ungrudgingly.
ungrudgingly
Ungrudgingly.
ungrudgingly accept tribulations from the Lord as a benediction. The Pandavas were advised by Bhismadeva to accept the responsibility of administration without hesitation. The poor subjects were without protection due to the battle of Kurukshetra, and they were awaiting the assumptions of power by Maharaja Yudhishthir. A pure devotee of the Lord accepts tribulations as favors from the Lord. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no mundane difference between the two. Hare Krishna.
Verse 18. Esha
Esha
vai
by
Bhagavan
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 Sakshat
Sakhyat
Sasha
Adyo
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 Narayana
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 Puman
Puman
Kumar
Mohayan
Mohaya
Mohayan
Mayaya
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 Yogam
Logam
Logam
Gudha
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 Charadi
Saradi
Saradi
Vishnishu
Vishnishu
Vishnu
Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat
Eshavai
Esha Vai
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Sakshat
Sasha
Adyo Narayana Puman
Adyo
Adyo
Narayana
Narayana
Puman
Puman
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Mohayan
Mohan
Mayaya
Mayaya
Lokam
Logam
Gudascharadhi Vishnishu
Budascharati
Gudastaradi
Vishnishu
Prishnishu
Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat
Eshavai
Esha Vai
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Sakshat
Sasha
Adyo Narayana Puman
Adyo
Adyo
Narayana
Narayana
Puman
Puman
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Mohayan
Mohan
Mayaya
Maya Logam
Lokam
Gudascharadhi Vishnishu
Budascharati
Gudastaradi
Vishnishu
Prishnishu
Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat
Eshavai
Esha Vai
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Sakshat
Sasha
Adyo Narayana Puman
Adyo
Adyo
Narayana
Narayana
Puman
Puman
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Mohayan
Mayan
Mayaya
Maya
Lokam
Logam
Gudascharadhi Vishnishu.
Budascharati
Gudastaradi
Vishnishu
Prishnishu
Yes, Sharjamaji.
Hare Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Esha Vai Bhagavan Sasha Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Maya Logam Gudastaradi Prishnishu Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna. Manohari Maji.
Hare Krishna. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Mayaya Logam Gudascharati Vrishnishu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Snigdha
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate
Krishna.
Vasudevaya. Esa vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohoyan Mayaya Lokan Grudacharati Vushnishu. May I read the synonyms, Prabhu? May I read the synonyms?
Yes.
Esha,
Yes. Yes.
this, why, positively, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sakshat, original, Adya, the first, Narayanaha, the Supreme Lord who lies down on the water, Puman, the Supreme Enjoyer, Mohayan, bewildering, Mayaya by his self-created energy, Lokam, the planets, Gudaha, who is inconceivable, Charati moves Brishnishu among the Brishni family. Translation: this Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayan, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vishnu, just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with his self-created energy. Purport His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the deductive process. The Vedic knowledge is received perfectly by disciplic succession from authorities. Such knowledge is never dogmatic, is ill conceived by less intelligent persons. The mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father. She is the authority for such confidential knowledge. Therefore, authority is not dogmatic. In the Bhagavad Gita, this truth is confirmed in the second verse of the fourth chapter, and the perfect system of learning is to receive it from authority. The very same system is accepted universally as truth, but only the false arguer speaks against it. For example, modern spacecraft fly in the sky, and when scientists say that they travel to the other side of the moon, men believe these stories blindly because they have accepted the modern scientists as authorities. The authorities speak, and the people in general believes them. But in the case of Vedic truth, they have been taught not to believe. Even if they accept them, they give a different interpretation. Each and every man wants a direct perception of Vedic knowledge, but foolishly they deny it. This means that the misguided man can believe one authority and scientist, but will reject the authority of the Vedas. The result is that people have degenerated. Here is an authority speaking about Sri Krishna as the original personality of Godhead and the first Narayana. Even such an impersonalist as Acharya Sankara has said in the beginning of his commentation on the Bhagavad Gita that Narayan, the personality of Godhead, is beyond the material creation. The universe is one of the material creation, but Narayan is transcendental to such material paraphernalias. Bhishmadeva is one of the 12th Mahajana who know the principles of transcendental knowledge. His confirmation of Lord Sri Krishna's being the original personality of Godhead is also corroborated by the impersonalist Sankara. All other acharyas have also confirmed this statement, and thus there is no chance of not accepting Lord Sri Krishna as original personality of Godhead. Bhismadeva says that he is the first Narayan. This is also confirmed by Brahmaji in the Bhagavatam 10.14.14. Krishna is the first Narayan in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha. There are unlimited number of Narayans who are all the same personality of Godhead and are considered to be the plenary expansions of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the first form of the Lord. Sri Krishna first expands himself as the form of Baldev. Then Baldev expands in so many other forms such as Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Narayana, Purusha, Rama, and Narsimha. All these explanations are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and Sri Krishna is the original source of all the planetary expansions. He is therefore the direct personality of Godhead. He is the creator of the material world, and he is the predominating deity known as Narayan in all the Vaikuntha planets. Therefore, his movements amongst human beings are another sort of bewilderment. The Lord therefore says in the Bhagavad Gita that foolish persons consider him to be one of the human being without knowing the intricacies of his movement. The bewilderment regarding Sri Krishna is due to the action of his twofold internal and external energies upon the third one, called marginal energy. The living entities are expansion of his marginal energy, and thus they are sometimes bewildered by the internal energy and sometimes by the external energy. By internal energy's bewilderment, Sri Krishna expands himself into unlimited number of Narayanas and exchanges or accepts the transcendental loving service from the living entities in the transcendental world. And by his external energies and expansions, he incarnates himself in the material world among the men, animal, demigods, and re-establishes his forgotten relation with the living entities in different species of life. Great authorities like Bhishma, however, escape his bewilderment by the mercy of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 19. Asya
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 Anubhavam
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 Bhagavan
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 Veda
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 Yadamam
Guhatamam
Guhyadamam
Shiva
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 Devarshri
Devarsi
Devarshi
Narada
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 Sakshat
Sakshat
Sasha
Bhagavan
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 Kapilo
Abhilo
Abhilu
Kripa
Kripa
Nrupa
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan
Asyanubhavam
Asyanubhavam
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Veda Guhyatamam Shiva
Veda Guhyatamam
Vedamam
Shiva
Shiva
Devarshri Narada Sakshat
Devarshi
Devarshi
Narada
Narada
Sakshat
Sasha
Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Kapilo
Kabilo
Nripa
Nrupa
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan
Asyanubhavam
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Veda Guhyatamam Shiva
Veda Guhyatamam
Vedamukhyatamam
Shiva
Shiva
Devarshri Narada Sakshat
Devarshi
Devarshi
Narada
Narada
Sakshat
Sakshat
Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Kapilo
Kabilo
Nripa
Nrupa.
Jai
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Vedaguhyatamam Shiva Devarshir Narada Sashat Bhagavan Kabilo Nrupa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Manohari Maji.
Hare Krishna. Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shivaha Devarshir Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kabilo Nripa. Hare Krishna.
Sita Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Asyanubhavang Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamang Sivaha Devarsi Naradaha Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa. May I read the synonyms?
Yes.
Synonyms. Asya, of him. Anubhavan, glories. Bhagavan, the most powerful. Veda, knows. Guhyatamam, very confidentially. Shivaha, Lord Shiva. Devarshi, the great sage among the demigods. Naradaha, Narada. Sakshat, directly. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Kapila, Kapila. Nripa, O king. Translation. O king, Lord Shiva, Narada, the sage among the demigods, and Kapila, the incarnation of Godhead, all know very confidentially about his glories through direct contact. Purport. By his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Pure devotees of the Lord are all Buddhas or persons who know the glories of the Lord in different transcendental loving service. As the Lord has innumerable expansions of his plenary form, there are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord who are engaged in the exchange of service of different humans. Ordinarily, there are 12 great devotees of Lord, namely Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlada, Bhishma, Janaka, Sukadeva Goswami, Bali Maharaj, and Yamaraj. Bhismadeva. Although one of them has mentioned only 3 important names of the 12 who know the glories of the Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of the great Acharya in modern ages, explains that Anubhava or the glory of the Lord is first appreciated by the devotee in ecstasy, manifesting the symptoms of perspiring, trembling, weeping, bodily eruptions, etc., which are further enhanced by steady understanding of the glories of the Lord. Such different understandings of bhavas are exchanged between Yashoda and the Lord, binding the Lord by ropes, and in the chariot driving by the Lord in exchange of love with Arjuna. These glories of Arjuna are exhibited in his being subordinated before his devotees, and that is another feature of the glories of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami and the Kumaras, although situated in the transcendental position, become converted by another feature of bhava and turned into pure devotee of the Lord. Tribulations imposed upon the devotees by the Lord constitute another exchange of transcendental bhava between the Lord and the devotees. The Lord says, I put my devotee into difficulty, and thus the devotee become more purified in exchanging transcendental bhava with me. Placing the devotee into material troubles means delivering him from the illusory material relations. The material relations are based on reciprocation of material enjoyment, which depends mainly on material resources. Therefore, when material resources are withdrawn by the Lord, the devotee is 100% attracted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Thus, the Lord snatches the fallen soul from the mire of material existence. The tribulations offered by the Lord to his devotees are different from the tribulations resulting from vicious action. All these glories of the Lord are especially known to the great Mahajanas like Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Kapila, Kumara, and Bhishma, as mentioned above, and one is able to grasp it by their grace. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhayam Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam.
Dadati Sapadantikam.
Vandeham Shri Guru Yudavadagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Saganatnadayam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaidam Savadhutam Parijanasaidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamsa Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Te Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Made Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vashabhanavi Devi Daityaya Krivabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnanadayine Prabhave Namah Madhuryo Prema Shri Rupanuga Bhaktidam Gaurakarna Shakti Vigrahaya Namaste Namaste Gauravani Shri Muktaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viridhava Siddhanta Dvandharine Namo Gaurakishoraya Sakshal Vairagya Murte Vipralambra Sambodhe Padambuje Te Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Surubaya Rupanuga Varayade Gaura Vibhavo Mestam Nirdishta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhaumau Shri Jagannadaya Te Namaha Namo Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Echai Goshai Korishan Bandhan Jaham Hota Vignanash Avishta Puran Vanja Kalpadruvescha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupaswarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktiyam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Jayadam Sridopangor Mama Mandamade Gadi Mat Sarvaswapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadrimada Srimad Nagara Simhasanastho Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prashthalabhi Sevimano Smarami Sriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vadattadasthidaha Kashan Venuswaner Gopi Govinada Shrietuna Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dhadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Tasmadidam Devatandram Vyavasya Bharadashava Tasyanuhido Natha Nada Pahi Praja Prabho. O best among the descendants of Bharata, Yudhishthira, I maintain, therefore, that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of these subjects, of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. Hare Krishna. So, Bhishmadeva is nicely instructing, counseling Yudhishthira that he should not be despondent, he should not be broken-hearted, or he should not blame himself for the atrocities that happen in the war. He said everybody is under an influence of time, and the time is subordinate to Krishna. So ultimately, it is a plan of Krishna that is taking place. So we can understand it can be the plan of Krishna, but we cannot know why he is planning this way. Because he is giving both joy as well as sorrow to devotees. So why he should give sorrow or joy to devotees is a subject of but how deeply you inquire, we may inquire, we will now be able to understand the plan of Krishna. So that is so good, is so confidential. We can never know the plans of Krishna. That's what Srila Prabhupada has mentioned as inconceivable. So Bhishmadeva advises Yudhishthira that you should now accept this plan of Krishna. That is all Krishna's plan. Now Krishna is very, very cleverly, he did not tell Yudhishthira all these things because when he was bewildered, he was broken-hearted, when he was very in a sorry state of affairs. He did not directly instruct Yudhishthira as he had done in the case of Arjuna when he spoke the Bhagavad Gita. Because he wanted Yudhishthira to understand the same thing what he has taught Arjuna also from the mouth of Bhishmadeva, who is one of the Mahajans. So he can glorify his devotee also. So Krishna is more interested in glorifying his devotee than he being glorified. So Bhishmadeva already started speaking that injustice has been done to you, and therefore this war has is a justifying, is a leveling thing. So many injustices to nullify this injustice. This war has taken place when everybody is under time influence, and time is belongs to Krishna, subordinate to Krishna. So it is an inconceivable plan of Krishna. So Yudhishthira, my dear Yudhishthira, please accept that and then follow this instruction. That's all. Just follow this instruction. Because the instruction of Krishna is that you should rule, not Duryodhana. You are the epitome of religiosity. And because you are Dhamishta, you will be very fair also. And being very intelligent, you can discern what is right and what is wrong, which is very much required when you are an emperor or a king. Otherwise, it is always possible that injustice could be done to some people and unfair partiality to some others. So a king should be in a perfect position to understand the religiosity, the dharmic principles of dharma. So Yudhishthira is higher placed, much higher placed than Duryodhana in this respect. But above all, Yudhishthira is totally surrendered to Krishna, while Duryodhana was envious and antagonistic to Krishna. So Krishna decided that Yudhishthira should rule. So Bhishma advises Yudhishthira, now you follow the plan of Krishna, now take charge of the empire, because now there's a vacuum created by the war, and the prajas or the citizens, they are just moving around. I mean, they don't have any authority. They have become destitutes, with no one to take care of their needs, no one to guide them properly. So they become destitutes, and Bhishmadeva advises Yudhishthira that if you don't take charge immediately, these poor people will be irrecoverably lost. So take charge now and guide these prajas, the citizens, and it's your duty to lead them back to Krishna. That is the ultimate duty of the emperor. And you should not waste time now. Go ahead and take charge. That is, he said, advising Yudhishthira, because it's an inconceivable plan of the Lord. Then who is his Lord? Who is this Lord? Who is planning everything?
Krishna.
This, he explains in the next verse. Now he has, verse number 18. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshal Adyo Narayana Puman Mohanya Maya Logam Gudascharadi Krishnishu. This Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayana, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Rishi, just like one of us, and is bewildering us with his self-created energy. So, very important verse. A lot of things have been explained by Srila Prabhupada. It's a very deep and very, meaningful purport. First of all, he reveals that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, and he is the original Narayana. The common understanding of people is that Narayana is in Vaikuntha and he is ultimate. He is the ultimate Vishnu. But now, very confidentially, Bhishma says that Krishna is the original Narayana, the first Narayana. So that means there are other Narayanas also? Yes. Vaikuntha planets, in each and every planet, there is a Narayana. So these Narayanas have a source, and that source is Krishna. And how Narayanas came into existence? Because Ado Eka Krishna. in the beginning, in the very beginning, before material creation, even before the expansion of spiritual worlds, only Krishna was there in the beginning. Ego Bahusham, one wanted to be many. So Krishna was alone in the beginning, so he wanted to be many because he wanted to enjoy. Some of these explanations given in Prabhupada and Bhagavad Gita also, in 3rd chapter, verse 37, Kamesha, Krodesha. In that verse, Shila explained, Prabhupada explained the part. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Kamaisa, Krodhaisa, that purport is explained.
Yes. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna,
Radhasthani
Sambhava.
Sadhana.
Yes. So, Mahashno, Vidhi Ena, Ihavairina. So, in that purport, he has explained that Krishna wanted to enjoy, so he expanded himself. So, the first expansion takes place in the spiritual world. Actually, Krishna expands only twice only. One, he expands, the first expansion is Balrama, and the second expansion is Srimati Radharani. From Balrama comes the Chaturvyuha. Sometimes we say that Krishna's first expansion is Chaturvyuha. Actually, Krishna's first expansion is Balrama, and from Balrama comes this Chaturvyuha. This explained is the purpose of Srila Prabhupada. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And then from this Sankarshana comes the various Narayana forms, the Vaikuntha planets. And from these Narayanas come the Mahasankarshana. And from Mahasankarshana comes the 3 Vishnu forms, one after another. First is Karanodashaya Vishnu. From Karanodashaya Vishnu, Garbhodashaya Vishnu. And from Garbhodashaya Vishnu, Kshirodashaya Vishnu, who is a Paramatma in each and every atoms in the material world. So this is the expansion by Krishna, which is his internal potencies. There are 3, he expands thrice in his internal potency, external potency, and the marginal potency. Now you can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that from Radharani comes first Gopis, and then the Lakshmis and the queens of Dwaraka, and from that comes Durga, who becomes head of the material world. So Krishna expands only 2 times, but then everything is coming from other expansions in a what you call it, in a type of evolvement, as it is evolving one after another. So Shankaracharya says that he can accept if you say that everything comes from Krishna, every expansion is coming from Krishna directly. He cannot understand. He cannot. He says he objects. He objects that from Krishna comes Balarama, and from that comes Chaturviha. That he cannot understand, because when you say that Krishna is, of course, Krishna Bhagavad Gita says Aham Sarvasya Prabha Mata Sarvapavate. But if you go to details, you will find that this is how he expands. Everything doesn't come from him. First only Balarama and Radha, and from Balarama comes, then slowly he also comes to material world. And from Karanodashaya Vishnu comes the Jivas. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mame Vamsho Jiva Loge Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Yes, my Vamsha only, but via this long chain. This Shankaracharya objects because he says, but in their philosophy, there is no difference between Jiva and Krishna. When you can understand that Jiva is directly expanded from Krishna and there is no difference between Jiva and Krishna, then means that the Jiva is Krishna only. So there is only one Jiva, only one universal soul only. That is his way. That is, he wants to interpret it that way. But actually that has not happened that way. So very nicely, we can say that Krishna, he expands himself. He is within his expansion, but he's away from his expansion also. This is actually the most confidential Achindya Bheda Veda Tattva. So you can find even in Vaishnava expansions also. Krishna is one with his Vaishnava expansions and is different from these Vaishnava expansions also. In the sense that they are not coming, every expansions are not directly coming from Krishna. Are you following this? It's because it's the most confidential philosophy.
No, Prabhuji, please again, Prabhuji.
No, we explained that from Krishna comes Balram, okay, from the Chaturvyuha, and from that Narayana forms, and from that comes Mahasangashra, and from Mahasangashra comes
3 types of
this.
Vishnu.
This we have explained so many times. This I think you should be knowing, isn't it? Now the thing is the objection of Shankaracharya to this. This you'll find in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila 4.40. So very long purport. That. So Srila Prabhupada quotes liberally from Rupa Goswami's Laghu Bhagavatam. Sanatana Goswami has written Brihad Bhagavatam. Rupa Goswami has written Laghu Bhagavatam. So Rupa Goswami in that Laghu Bhagavatam is refuting the objections of raised by Shankaracharya. He says that I can understand is Krishna is the source of everything because everything is expanded directly from Krishna. We can understand. But when you say that Krishna is expanded via so many chain, the long chain, he cannot accept that. Right? Because when you say everything is coming from directly from Krishna, then everything is equal to Krishna. So Jiva will be equal to Krishna. There's no difference between Jiva and Krishna. But when you say that this is actually a sequence of expansions, then Krishna is the source of everything, but he's not directly involved. So you cannot correlate Jiva with Krishna directly. So this is Achindya Bheda Bheda Tattva, which Shankaracharya is bewildered by this. Still difficult to follow?
No, Prabhuji, okay. But from
you understood somewhat?
But from Vasudeva, Pradumna and Aniruddha, no other.
No, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradipna, and Aniruddha is called Chaturviha.
From Sankarshana.
Expansion from Krishna.
Prabhuji.
But this Chaturviha actually has not come directly from Krishna. Actually, Krishna expands first as Balrama only.
Balrama.
The Sat and Chit part of Vaikuntha.
Yes.
And from Balrama comes this Chaturviha. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
That we explain some. And from Chaturviha, Sankarshana comes the Narayana forms.
Yes.
And from Narayana comes the Mahasangarshana, the second Sangarshana, Mahasangarshana. And from Mahasangarshana comes Karanodashaya Vishnu. From Karanodashaya Vishnu comes Garbhodashaya Vishnu. And from Garbhodashaya Vishnu comes Kshirodashaya Vishnu.
But Prabhuji, from Vasudeva, Pradumna, Aniruddha, no expansions are there?
No. No.
Okay.
Not there. But they are associates of Krishna, and whenever Krishna comes, they come as eternal associates. In Krishna time also Pradipna and Ruda, everything is, and in Ramayana you find Sri Ramachandra, Lakshmana,
Bharata
and Shatrughna.
Yes.
Easy. Right. So Krishna is the original Narayana. It is inconceivable, but it's difficult to understand Krishna. But is corroborated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter. 14th chapter is bewilderment of our Brahmaji, and the 14th verse, 10.14.14. It is there also. It is very clearly mentioned that Krishna is the source of Narayana. Krishna is the source of Narayana is very clearly mentioned in that verse. Maybe I can share it in the group if you want. Right. And even Shankaracharya, he has mentioned not only this Narayana Paro Avyakta that is given in his Bhagavad Gita commentary, in his book, I'm forgetting the name of the book. He is very clearly says that Krishna is a source of Mahavishnu, that the three Murtis, Mahavishnu, Vishnu, you can say Vishnu, Shankara, and Rudra and Brahma and Shankara, Shiva. Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, they are called three Murtis in the material world. And Shankaracharya says that Krishna is a source of these three. So Shankaracharya also knows conferential knowledge. And he is moving amongst the descendants of Pring Rishi, just like one of, because he, see, just think about it, such the greatest of all Supreme Personality, Krishna, who is worshipped by everyone else, Shiva, Brahma, everyone, is just moving around in the earth, on the earth, as a descendant of coming in this Vishnu Kulam. And he is building us this self-created energy. So Shila explains this bewilderment is due to Krishna's twofold internal and external energies. On is a third one which is called marginal energy. So these two energies of Krishna bewilders this jiva. Jiva is bewildered both by the internal potency as well as the external potency. In the internal potency, you have all these expansions, and jiva is bewildered by that. And the external potency, you have the whole huge universes and its residents. And sometimes what happens, the jiva sometimes identifies himself with the internal agency. Sometimes he identifies himself with the external energy. So he's always in a state of confusion and bewilderment, and this bewilderment is caused by Krishna only. So why is expanding in the expansion the material energy as men, animals, demigods, is to re-establish his forgotten relationship with living entities in different species of life. So this is the reason Krishna is expanding in the material world. But Bhishma Deva is one of the great acharyas, and the great acharyas are mentioned in next verse. Who are the great acharyas? That is given next verse. Asya anubhavam Bhagavan Veda guhyatamam Shiva Deva Shri Narada Sachal Bhagavan Kabilo Nirva. So Bhishmadeva is advising Yudhishthira, you follow Krishna's intention only, because great personalities, the Maharaja like Shiva, Brahma, Narada, or Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlada, Bhishma, Janaka, Sukdev Goswami, Bali Maharaja, Yama Maharaja, 12 Mahajans, are simply following Krishna because they know the Anubhava of Krishna. Anubhava of Krishna. Because of bhavas, because they are all bhavas, they are rasikas. So in you can find in this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, as well as you'll find in Haridama Chittamani, a detailed explanation of these rasas. Anubhava, Sattviga Rasa, Sai Rasa. The Anubhava is Sattvic, it comes to Sattvic Rasa. In Sattvic Rasa, you have Ashta Sattviga Bhava, like trembling, weeping, and bodily eruptions, and tears streaming out of the eyes and faltering voice. You have this 8 on this one expansions, and this is a bhava that is erupting or that is being manifested in a devotee when he is in love with Krishna. This understanding that, and this bhava becomes sthayi in the sense that by a steady understanding. Sthayi bhava means steady understanding of the pastimes of Krishna. Now people are bewildered by how Yashoda Mataji knowledge is tying Krishna, and then Krishna is becoming a charioteer of Arjuna. All these things are very difficult for them to understand. How these anubhavas is explained by H.G.Satyavrta. He says that these are anubhavas of Krishna indicating his dependence on others. Now, normally we have this Vishaya and Ashaya. Vishaya is Krishna. Ashaya is that's all Krishna. Ashrita is who is depending, one who is depending. Now, in the rasa exchanges between devotees and Krishna, the devotees are dependent on Krishna, and Krishna is also depending on the devotees. That is the greatest conferential thing about Krishna. Because the fear that is generated by Yashoda Mataji when she is tying Krishna and threatening with his king, it is real, really. It's not not manifesting it. It is real. That is explained by Vishwachakra. It's real only. Because he says that Novara Rasas infers that there exists something special in these cases which controls and melts the heart of even Supreme Lord, the control of everyone, the control of all. There is something in this relationship which controls and melts even the heart of Supreme Lord and the supremely independent. And this object which melts the heart of Visha and Ashraya, many varieties, which bring both parties under the control of each another, is called prema. This is prema, differently known as bhakti, sneha, anurag, etc. So these are things explained in the lecture of instruction, and Vishal Chakri also explains that, because that special things which melts the heart of Krishna as well as the devotees, this is called prema. Devotees, his pure devotees have great prema for Krishna, and Krishna has got great prema for devotees. So this is anubhava. There is an intense prema in the siddhas and sadhaka devotees. So that way Bhishma says that he is a cause of distress of the devotees. He causes only distress of devotees. Why he causes distress? Because then he can come out of this material entanglement and depend purely on Krishna. Krishna is in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.88.8 several times quoted by Srila Prabhupada in this canto itself, in the earlier chapters. Krishna says, Yasya aham anugrahami harishe tadhanam shanaihi tado adhanam tyajandi asya swajanam dukkha dukkidam. When I specially favor someone, I gradually deprive of his wealth, slowly, slowly, I deprive his wealth. And when he becomes totally penniless, his relatives will ditch him. They will, ditch means they will just walk out on them. And then this devotee has no other way but to depend on Krishna. Yes, Signamaji.
Prabhuji, is there something similar sloka in Bhagavad Gita?
Similar sense, similar Gita, similar verse, resembling what? Similar
Uh,
means?
when I anugrahati somebody, then I takes away something.
Yeah, takes away.
Everything
This
comes.
is
I
Bhagavatam,
made
Bhagavatam only.
in Bhagavatam it is there. I made him akinchana. No other things except
Yeah,
me. He will think
except depend
only
on
of
Krishna
me.
only. Depend on Krishna only.
Yes, 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 yes.
Bhagavad Gita, immediately I cannot recollect any verse that gives the same meaning. Because Krishna is putting the devotees in such a position that in a situation where he has got no other option but to depend on Krishna only. And that is in Srimad Bhagavatam, you say. But Bhagavad Gita, I don't think there is a similar verse like that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
Because Srimad Bhagavatam is more on rasas and Bhagavad Gita is more on tattva. Of course, basis of Srimad Bhagavatam is Bhagavad Gita only. Bhagavad Gita is tattva, the real tattva. Unless you are totally thorough with tattva, you cannot move to rasas. Because if you jump to rasas, naturally, then you finally become sahajiya. It will be just sense gratification only. All those bhavas, the so-called bhavas, are only artificial. Without proper understanding the Sai Bhava. Sai Bhava is a real in-depth understanding of each and every lila. That is Sai Bhava. Satya Bhava, sometimes these rascals, they pretend to show this. Srila Prabhupada explained that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we should be very thorough with the science of Krishna. Then only you can enter into the rasas of Krishna. Till that time, you just understand this, but don't go too much into it. So, so he puts his devotees into difficulties to enhance his love for Krishna. But sometimes he enhances the love of Krishna even without putting the devotees in difficulties. So that's why he said that it's very difficult to understand the plan of Krishna. He is inconceivable. So the Mahajans know the anubhavas, but not the intention. Vishwanath Chakravarti says, they know the anubhavas of Krishna, all the Mahajans, including Shiva, and everything, but not the intention of Krishna. This intention of Krishna cannot be understood by anyone else. But follow the anubhava and then follow Krishna and obey his instruction. And in our case, in Kali Yuga, he's just asking to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Simply follow that. Follow Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Right. Vancha Kalpataruvascha.
Kripa sindhu bhayavacha patitanang pavanebhyo
Sindhuvya
vaishnavebhyo
evacha.
namo.